All right, everybody. Welcome to the Red Stars pre-match press conference. We have Coach Petrucelli and Bianca St. George here today. If you have any questions, please use the raise your hand function and I'll use it to call on you. Joe, go ahead.
Hey everyone, thanks so much, Anna, and thank you, Bianca and Chris, for the time as always. Really appreciate it. Chris, start where I always have to start. We got some injury updates. What's the lineup looking like in terms of player availability going into tomorrow's match?
I think Shayna Matthews is coming off of the injury list, so she'll be available for selection. Penelope is a questionable, I guess. A little bit of a lower leg injury. And I think that's everything else about the same.
Wonderful, thank you. And then Chris, first off, approaching a player like a Marta when you have to go against her, obviously it's not just one thing when you're going against a team like Orlando, but how do you start with stopping their number one option and then making sure that it's not also allowing for other things? And then Bianca, I would ask you the same, as she's going to be occupying more of a central role. Is you're someone who tends to be more on the outside. How do you ensure that you're monitoring a star player like that while also not allowing others to affect the game in a way that would be negative?
So the big thing for us, Joe, you've heard me say it a million times, like if we keep the ball, then Marta doesn't have the ball, right? So that's number one. But then as we go forward, we just have to be aware of where she is, and it's not just her, because they have a couple of other options that are dangerous as well. But as we go forward, just understanding that, somebody like Marta is not going to run up and down the field and, track back and all that kind of stuff. She's waiting for the moment, right? And we have to make sure we know where she is all the time.
Thank you. And Bianca, for you, just understanding kind of with these attacking options where you can kind of take those risks moving up and making sure you're staying back, kind of how's your approach with that? And just with this team we've talked about, as Chris said, possessions, everything. Yeah. So ensuring that the team can get the ball through the midfield and then into the attacking half.
It's unrealistic to think that Orlando's not going to get the ball, but I think we just have to make sure that we make it hard for them to succeed. We know someone like Marta, she can have one clean look and it's over. So as long as we are disciplined to make it hard, to make it least likely for her to create something, I think that's the best we can do. But I think in the first place, if we just find a way to not make her have the ball in the first place, that will solve a lot of problems. So making sure that we keep the ball, and then when we don't have the ball, we gain it back. We make it extremely difficult. We own into our identity. We got some grit, and we get the ball back.
Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Taylor, go ahead.
Yes, I've got a couple for Bianca. So the game against Portland started out rough, but in the second half, you guys kind of began to pull it together. What kind of worked for you then? And how did you guys kind of figure that out on the pitch? And what was really the discussion at halftime?
I think it was very disappointing after the first half, but the halftime was a time for us to honestly take a deep breath. And someone said it non-verbally, but it was like, we have nothing to lose here, so might as well play freely. And that was a big message for us, that once we trust ourselves, we are willing to take risks, we believe in what we can do, we can actually play beautiful soccer. So I think that's a huge lesson going forward, is to understand that we are good enough, we can compete, we can win games, and it's to hold on to that belief that I think will push us forward from now on.
And then kind of what's the team's mentality been like? How do you keep that short memory and move on to the next game? And right, especially as kind of a veteran on this team, how do you help guide the younger players through kind of this rough patch?
For me, my mentality is to give the message that these hard times can be our most powerful tool. I think if things were going just well enough, we could be complacent and not strive to improve. But I think we're hitting such terrible times that it gives us a wake-up call that we need to work harder, we need to do things differently than other teams. And I think that's a beautiful privilege to have, because I feel like every great athletes, every great teams have gone through hard times, and this can be part of our amazing story. So I think these hard times are empowering, and I think we can use that to our advantage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Taylor. H, go ahead.
Hi, this is Har up in Vancouver. Hi, Bianca. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I was wondering, how are you preparing for the World Cup coming up in 2 months with Chicago? How is that helping you get set if you make the roster? I know Canada doesn't have any warm-up games, so how important is this season for you in preparation?
I think I am extremely lucky to go through these hard times right now, honestly, because I am being exposed to the most difficult situations where you make mistakes and you can learn. If things were going well, if all my team was playing really well and I didn't have to work so hard, I think I could lose the momentum, maybe not reach my full potential because I'm not being exposed to difficult high-class situations. So the fact that we're being bombarded with tough situations, difficult plays, great players that are running us over, it's good because I get to be exposed to what I'll see in World Cup, and I need to figure out how to deal with that for when I go there. So it's all about learning right now. It's about growing. It's about taking one day at a time and get 1% better every day. And I think, like I said, I think I'm lucky to go through these hard times right now because it only makes me more ready for World Cup.
There's a lot of players who are question marks for Canada right now because they have some injuries or they're rehabbing, looking for minutes to get back in. What would it mean for you to make the roster for the World Cup, whether it's, an injured player or just coming in on your own merit? What would it mean for you to represent Canada in Australia this summer?
To be honest, I don't even think about that right now. I'm fully committed to my growth here with the team because I know for me to be the best self at World Cup for my country, that means that every day where I'm at, I have to do my best. So I'm all in with Chicago because I know that being all in here with Chicago is going to make me ready for Canada. Whatever happened will happen. I will just do my best, and I know I won't have any regrets if I just focus on doing everything I can right here. Obviously, it would mean a lot. It would be a proud moment for me to represent my country, but I just got to control what I can right now and focus day by day, honestly.
And finally, from me, Coach, what have you seen from Bianca this season that's really, stood out, that's really helped her shine and really helped her game develop this year?
I think she's been a real threat on the attacking side of it. She's been one of our most dangerous players, and you've seen her score, you've seen her create. She's had a number of chances. So when she gets the ball in a forward area where she can run at people, she can use her speed and her strength. She's extremely, extremely dangerous. So, and we've played her in the back some, so she's got some flexibility as well. But I really like what she's done, as she's gone forward.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Thank you. Taylor, you can go ahead again.
Yeah, just one last one. Coach, does minute management become a factor this weekend considering the Challenge Cup game next Wednesday?
I think it becomes a factor Wednesday and maybe the game after that. But look, at this point, we got to try to win a game. So we're going to do everything we can to try to win the game on Saturday, and then we'll worry about Wednesday when we get to it.
Okay, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions at this time?
Yes, I will ask one.
All right, go ahead, Hernan.
Yes, Coach, I don't know if they asked you this question already. I was a few minutes late, but I would like to ask, how's the locker room for tomorrow's game? How's the vibe between the players after the 2 losses away? And the other one is the injury updates. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're all frustrated, I think, but I mean, when training comes around, everybody's positive and working hard, and you know, there's good spirit in the team, and they all seem to be, you know, to have the right mood and approaching things the right way. So, you know, no one's giving up. No one's jumping off the ship at this point. We're moving in the right direction. So that part is good. I mentioned earlier, Shannon Matthews will be available, and I think there is some question mark with Penelope.
Thank you, Hernan. Any other questions? Looks like a no. All right, Bianca and Chris, thank you so much for your time, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And at this time, this will conclude the Red Stars pre-match press conference. Thank you.